We'd like to next thank those who refuse to allow the Orchidea story to be forgotten, our generous sponsors. Their support is key to the revival of the astonishing story of Orchidea in the minds of hundreds of Washington policymakers and opinion leaders and thousands around the world. Their support is also helping the foundation inspire and honor modern fighters for freedom and democracy who exhibit courage similar to that of the Greek people in World War II. Our sponsors who made tonight's dinner possible, and as well as the important events of today and the crucial work of the foundation throughout the year, our platinum sponsors, Nicholas J. and Anna K. Boris Foundation and the Stavros Niarchos Foundation. Our gold sponsors, Manatos of Manatos and Jim Chanos and Kinikos Associates. Our silver sponsors, the Libra Group, George and Judy Marcus and Pawn and Magdalene Peters. And a number of bronze sponsors, some of who are with us tonight, the Pettises, Jim, Wanda, Ted, and Leah, Michael and Robin Saros, Maria Alwyn, Calmos Investments, Gus Caleras, and Axios Wine is the delicious wine you're drinking, Chris and Maria Pappas, George and Kathy Sakalaris, and Stephen and Thelma Jonas. Now, you all have a program with an insert that lists the long, very long list of honored guests we have here this evening that I'm not even going to try to read because I know we'll leave someone out. But now it pleases me to welcome to the podium to start the official program the chairman of Marcus and Millichap, the founder of the National Hellenic Society, and the Washington Orchidea Foundation Advisory Board member, Mr. George Marcus.
As is the Greek custom, I have a 2-hour introduction to this evening's activities. So let me welcome all of you. I could auction my time off. No. Let me welcome all of you to the fourth Orchidea celebration. It's great to be here to celebrate with all my friends and the community. Most of you are aware that there was a brief period of time in the 500th BC in which the confluence of political liberty and incredible intellectual prowess created the most incredible gift to the world. The subjects that the ancient Greeks, the classic Greeks, produced in a manner that gave us all really remarkable civilization: mathematics, philosophy, numerous subjects that there are almost too many to go into, but mainly the most important one is politics and the introduction of democracy to the world. Now let me go fast forward to the contemporary Greeks. We're here to celebrate a remarkable event that exemplifies the courage of contemporary Greeks when the Axis powers had their first defeat that started the decline of the Second World War. So tonight we not only celebrate Orchidea, but we celebrate the freedom and the liberty that we enjoy every single day. Good evening and enjoy it yourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Washington Orchidea Foundation founder and president, Andy Manatos.
Well, thank you all for coming. I can assure you that tonight you're in for an evening that you'll remember for the rest of your lives. Thousands and millions flocked to the abhorrent insanity of Adolf Hitler and was stopped only by the sacrifice of some good people. It's critically important that we remind ourselves of these brave souls and of their successors today, like our honorees, as we see the seeds sown for a world of unthinkable barbarity and horror. Tonight, we'll begin with an award that is given to an individual who shows courage against prejudice and discrimination. Next, we'll explore the uniquely Greek word philotimo, and that may explain the values that moved the Greeks in World War II and that moves our honorees today to such admirable actions. Third, we will honor a woman who today exhibits the courage that the women of Crete showed in World War II when the Nazis invaded their island. And finally, we will honor a man who today exhibited the David versus Goliath courage of the Greek Prime Minister when he answered "Ochi," no, to the 3 a.m. demand for surrender to the Axis forces. And let me remind you that the Axis forces had just crushed 15 countries, including the greatest military of the time, France, and that the only countries who stood in opposition to them at that time were Great Britain and Greece. And now, if I might ask your attention for a very brief greeting from the government of Greece, please welcome to the microphone Greece's ambassador to the United States, Christos Panagopoulos.
How brief should be this, Andy? Thank you very much. I will be very brief indeed. Dear friends, it was one of Europe's darkest moments in its long history. Defeated were people and nations and souls, with only Great Britain left to fight almost alone. The forces of Nazis and fascists were marching in triumph, and there was only terror, fear, despair, and death across the continent. And then, an unassuming small nation, sunk, if you wish, in its own existential problems, stood up against Mussolini and said with one voice, "No, ochi to fascism." Why they've done that? They were not obliged to fight. As I told you, everybody was in fear and terror. As Adi said, philotimo is the difference. For philotimo, my good friend George Logothetis, one of our own young leaders, is going to speak in extenso, I believe, in a few moments. And then, dear friends, we did offer to the Allies the first victory against Axis, and much needed hope and courage, and the confidence that we can defeat the dark. Most important from the strategic point of view was that Greece obliged Hitler to bring crucial forces to the Greek front, delaying thus, it was proven later, in a mortal way, his plans against the Soviet Union. And the rest is history that Greece only knows how to write. Tonight, the Ochi Foundation, the Manatos family, who is the brains and the soul behind this, their sponsors, give us, at the fourth consecutive year, I believe, a splendid opportunity to remember and also celebrate my country's contribution to the final victory of the World War through an enormous sacrifice of its people. Dear friends, Greece is fighting again another struggle. With great sacrifices, we are succeeding day by day to turn the corner. And our vision is to build a new country, to reform our country, to build a modern nation, a modern competitive state of which we are going to be very proud ourselves and our children. Let me take a moment to congratulate all the award recipients, but also each one of you for joining us for this special night. Thank you very much.
I'd like to mention something that very few people in this room understand. And it involves our first award. It begins with a man who epitomized the unsurpassed reaction of the Greek people to the Holocaust, Metropolitan Christos. He was demanded by his Nazi commander to present a list of the Jews of Zakynthos, Greece.